Well, hey there, everybody. Welcome to Intermediate Music Theory video number 10. In this video, we're going to start talking about polyphony or polyphony or however you might pronounce it. What is polyphony? Polyphony is when two lines are interacting at the same time. It's different than what we think of as our standard music. We think of what would be called vertical music, which is like chords. Not like that one. But anyhow, chords, vertical, these big. Each time you hear a segment of music, you can hear the chord strike through in a way, and that's more vertical thinking. Polyphony, which dates back a long ways to like the Baroque Renaissance periods, it's basically, it would be thought of as like line versus line. So you have a melody line going against another melody line. An easy example to think about it would be if you ever sang a song in a round like Row, Row, Row Your Boat, where you're a group of people and you sing Row, Row, Row Your Boat, and the next group of people start singing Row, Row, Row Your Boat after you have went so far in, and you do it in this round where it's all kind of clashing against each other. You're singing the same exact melody as each other, but because you started at a different point, the two lines interact with each other and create this cool sound. And that's what polyphony is. Line against line. Now, it doesn't have to just be two. It can be many. For example, like Bach's fugues can get all the way up to 4 parts. So it's actually thought of as 4 separate melody lines interacting in this direction, not in this direction. So, because I mean, if you looked at like these 2 chords, or 3 chords there, if you followed each note, you could probably draw lines through them, but that's really not the goal. You're not hearing each note. You're hearing each block of notes as a chord. So let's dive right in. I'm going to give you a polyphonic little thing. I'm going to try to use my looper pedal. I'm not real awesome at it. We're going to give it a go. The melody I'm going to use is in D minor, and it's going to be the original melody will be, woo, not that. That's what we'll be operating off. Okay, let me get the old looper fired up and let's see if we can do something cool with this. Okay. So there you go. So there you go. Whoop, let me shut that off. Phantom playing. Okay, so that's the line against line. Now the second line, I went up a fifth and started in the opposite. So the first set of notes is 1, 2, and 1, 2, and kind of thing. So then when I started the next group, I went 1 and 2, 3 and 4, or 1 and 2, 1 and 2, however you want to think of that. And then that's the octave of where we started. That's going to be very important in the future because we're actually going to go through the traditional rules, the Baroque rules of polyphony, and where they would use, say a minor second or a major third or any of that stuff, or do they even use those things? It's kind of an interesting way that they thought about music, and the reason we're going to look at it from that period and then start moving forward with changes music theory wise is so that you can see how these things evolved, or where they started, how they evolved into what we think of as music now. And if you know the rules, say you like Baroque music, Renaissance style music, and you want to write something like that, if you know the rules, you can do that very well. Now, I couldn't tell you right offhand if what we're doing here, what I just did there, follows the rules. It just sounds cool to me, and it's polyphonic. It's two lines, one melody line against another melody line. Now, I'm going to take and I'm going to play the same thing I did last time, only the second melody, instead of starting it here, I'm going to start it lower. So instead of starting up a fifth, we're going to start down a fourth from the first note. Now I'm playing this diatonic, which means that it's still all the same notes as D minor, actually D harmonic minor, because I use the at the end. I'm using all of those notes still. It's just in a different place. Okay, so let's get the old looper fired up again. And then I'll play this. So there you go. That's Polyphony, a two-part polyphony. Sorry about the lighting today. I know it's probably hard to see my fretboard at certain points. I'm still trying to figure all this stuff out, and I still suck at a lot of it. But I just want to introduce Polyphony to you today. And in the next video, we're going to cover, more of the traditional rules, how they would do it. These things called suspensions, that things like a 7/6 suspension. Well, what is that? We'll cover that real quick just so that you know kind of what's coming in the next video. So a seventh on the guitar here, that's a minor seventh. That's a major sixth when you lift that pinky and drop it half a step. So that's a 7/6 suspension. So say you go, hear how that note kept on, you got octave, and that note comes up to create a seventh between those two, and that guy drops to get you a sixth. Okay, now I'll do more reading of the old music books and stuff, because I don't want to steer anybody wrong. I want to make sure I remember correctly and I give you the information correctly. But what I just played there would be kind of how a 7/6 suspension would sound. Anyhow, intermediate music theory video number 10, Polyphony. I'm glad we did this. I'm glad I took a minute to do a little more research and get to thinking differently. I've been struggling with knowing exactly how I want to progress from where I'm at on this channel. So that's where I'm going to go. I'm going to go the old historical route, and we're going to run through it and have a good time. Have a wonderful day. Thank you for watching.